Well, good evening and welcome to the lovely campus of Francis Marion University, where we have Conference Carolinas basketball, a doubleheader coming your way this evening. Here on the campus of Francis Marion, we're going up against the King University Tornadoes out of Tennessee. So we'll be playing both the men's and the women's game this evening on Pearl Moore night. Pearl Moore, as you know, is women's basketball's leading all-time scorer everywhere. She's a member of 5 Hall of Fames and actually has a gym named after her as well. So we'll be honoring her, one of our most illustrious alumni tonight. I'm Hubert Setzler tonight along with Alex Wober. Alex, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. I'm more excited to be here on Pearl Moore night and celebrate this fantastic feat. But I'm more excited about this doubleheader, the first doubleheader for the Patriots this season. I can't wait to sit here and talk about the game with you, Hubert.
Absolutely. It's going to be a fun time. It's been interesting to see how both our men's and women's squads have adjusted to Conference Carolina. It was a tough inauguration into this league, going on an initial 3-game road trip. Our first 3 games, both the men and women in Conference Carolina, came on the road. It was a pretty long and arduous road trip, and the women didn't fare too well with a record of 0-3. I believe the men came away 1-2. A couple of close ones there for them, but we're hoping that the women can really get off the schneid tonight on Pearl Moore night.
Absolutely, and then going on a road trip, any team in the country, they're going to have a tough time when you have to play 3 games on the road. You know, you're not in your home court. It's always tough, and especially coming into the new Conference Carolinas, they haven't played these teams, so getting used to playing these opponents and being on the road more, they're going to have to get used to that.
Absolutely. I can't imagine the amount of tape that assistant coach Jonette Walker and head coach Jerry Porter for the women, and also for Coach Edwards in the men's, just how much extra tape they've been having to watch simply to get up to speed on this huge number of new teams that we're facing.
Absolutely, and you know, Coach Edwards, Coach Porter, they know what they have to do. They have to be ready to play these sort of teams because, like I said before, they haven't really faced off against these teams. Talking about the men's game, they've never played King University in the entire history of FMU men's basketball. For the women, they last played in 2010. FMU won a score of 92-63.
That was back in the Heather Macy days, when Heather Macy, who was a very good coach here for a couple of years, took us to the NCAAs a couple of times, but she was a high-scoring, fast-moving. Those teams were interesting to watch because they took 100 shots a game just about. And so it was fun to watch them get up and down the floor. But tonight, like you said, we've got this King's University team coming in. It's a really interesting and silly little fun fact. I was asking somebody today, I was watching the women from King University warm up, and they're wearing their white uniforms. And I asked somebody close to us on the scores table why they were wearing their whites, because it's traditionally white at home, but they are playing back-to-back games this weekend, and Conference Carolina said if you are playing back-to-back road games, you will wear the whites on the Friday game and the away colors, your dark colors, on the I guess that's a good idea, so they don't have to buy multiple uniforms and they don't have to do laundry on a particular day where they're going, so they can bring their uniforms with them. And so we get the white. So we'll be, I think it's a little bit apropos that we're wearing an interesting uniform that most of our fans don't get to see all the time, and we're doing that on Pearl Moore night.
Absolutely. I mean, what a perfect occasion to do that as well. I mean, busting out the new uniforms and then having a Hall of Famer stand at midcourt. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better night here for women's and men's basketball.
For those of you who are joining us this evening, please make sure we normally go a little bit dead during the time in between ball games. But after we wrap up this women's ball game, they're going to have Pearl Moore honored between ball games. So stay tuned, and they will take away the announcing duties from us. And they've got, I believe, probably the sports information director, not Murray Hartzell, that's the, you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, Michael Hawkins.
Mike Hawkins, yeah. Michael will probably be doing the announcing there, and they'll be honoring her yet again because she just got, I believe, voted into the Basketball Hall of Fame of everybody.
Oh, yeah.
So she's in the women's South Carolina, Florence. Now she's in what some people would consider the men's Basketball Hall of Fame, but it's not. It's just simply the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Exactly.
And what an honor for her there. And how great was it for those fans who got to watch her drop 40 points a game her entire career on people.
I mean, never averaged or never had a game below 20 points. I mean, you just look at their stats, 4,000 points, 30 points per game, 4-time All-American, WBL All-Star. I mean, you know the deal. She's just an absolute specimen to watch on the court.
And I really do hope they show her picture from when she was a player here, because it's so sweet, that late 70s, early 80s.
Right.
She's got a great 70s, 80s look. I think it's fantastic. Okay, well, looks like they're starting to do the lineups here, so we'll do that as well. Coming in for Kings Academy, their record is 4-1. Starting of freshman guard, 5'5" from Jefferson, Tennessee, number 2, Alexa Graman. We also have a 5'7" senior guard from Knoxville, Tennessee, number 4, Trinity Lee. At guard, a 5'4" sophomore from Oak Ridge, Tennessee, number 5, Brianna Dunbar. A 5'6" senior guard from Louisville, Kentucky, number 10, Kiki Samsel. And the center, a 5'11" freshman from Bristol, Virginia, number 35, Madison Worley. The interim head coach for the Tornadoes is Michael Phelps, and his assistant coach is Ashley Knight.
I'll say that's an amazing head coach name for King University, an absolute Olympian over there.
Absolutely true. It's they've just shut the lights out here, and they're having an exciting introduction to our women's players. So let's go and look at those. The Patriots coming in at 1-4, 0-3 in the conference, and we're hoping to get off of that 0 this evening. A 5'7" junior guard from Rock Hill, South Carolina, number 4, Scarlett Gilmore. We also have at guard a 5'5" sophomore from Goose Creek, South Carolina, number 11, Anaya Oliver. A 5'10" junior center from Lancaster, South Carolina, number 15, Zaria Woods. A 5'9" freshman guard from North Augusta, South Carolina, number 25, Kiana Lee. And rounding out the starting 5 for the Patriots, a 6-foot sophomore center from Blythewood, Columbia, number 32,
Marion, University Patriots.
Lauren Turner.
Sorry about that, Lauren.
They're a little bit dark on us this evening. Head coach for the Patriots and one of my favorite human beings of all time, head coach Jerry Porter. She's fantastic. Her assistant coach is Jonette Walker, and the athletic trainer is Haley Black. So as I said in the pregame, as you can see the women going to the circle, they are wearing their away blues, which is actually for me a little bit of a treat. I don't get as many chances to go see them on the road because of other duties around town, but it's nice to see these away uniforms at home.
Sophomore from Blythewood, South Carolina, number 32, Lauren Taylor.
You've got to love the design that goes down the side of the unis. I just like how the pattern goes down the side. And like you said, I don't get a chance either to see their away unis, and I think they just look absolutely crisp.
They really do. It's actually really kind of funny. Tennessee has the same color scheme as FMU, and so it's going to be weird if you look at their uniforms. They're wearing their home whites, but they've got red and blue trim as well, blue piping on those numbers. So I'll have to get used to calling those darker colors for the Patriots. What I noticed doing the starting lineups and earlier is that the Tornadoes have a lot of guards and only one person that has any size in the middle. The Patriots really have 2 centers on the floor at one time with Zaria Woods and Lauren Taylor. So it'll be interesting to see the size of the Patriots up against what I'm assuming is the speed of Tennessee. And we're about to start. And here we go. That ball was knocked out of bounds by Taylor on the tip. You knew we were going to get the tip. It just a little bit too strong. It goes over to first possession, Kings University.
And to point out what you said about, just the size of Francis Marion, they got to be big down low. They got to use their size down low tonight and bully King inside the arc, because that's going to be the key to winning this basketball game.
Patriots start out man-to-man. 13 on the shot clock. The Tornadoes pull it back out. A nice drive from the key all the way inside by number 5, Brianna Dunbar. She couldn't finish, and the Patriots used their size to clean up the defensive glass. Shot left side, a nice mid-range jumper by number 25, Kiana Lee.
And Brianna Dunbar, sophomore guard, averaging 13 points per game, 2 steals per game, and 3.2 assists. Something I saw in the stats about this King University team is they average about 12 steals per game. So they're going to be a very defensive-minded team, and they're going to try and take the offensive possessions away from Francis Marion University.
Dunbar knocked down the 14-footer from the free throw line. And a nice little running jumper that time by number 4, Scarlett Gilmore. Gilmore, one of the veterans on our team. Dunbar with another mid-range jumper right on the right elbow. She ties the game back up. Full court pressure applied by the Tornadoes, maybe where these steals are coming from in the backcourt. Patriots beat the pressure fairly easily. Right side jumper no good by Zaria. Patriots have turned the ball over on average 16 times a game, so a little bit of pressure might pay some dividends for the Tornadoes. Dunbar, little stop and go, and she gets fouled underneath by number 32, Lauren Taylor.
As we saw in that last possession, a missed shot by Lauren Taylor that rims out. No Patriots in the paint. I mean, like I said before, you have to own the paint tonight because with that size, you're going to be able to control the rebounds and control the inside the arc, basically. And already here, Brianna Dunbar has been able to get to the glass every single time she's had the ball.
First free throw missed by Dunbar. Still knotted up at 4 and 4. Second one's up, front iron, no good. Kept alive by the Tornadoes, but finally brought in by Lee. Nice move inside, and Kiana Lee.
Beautiful give and go. Absolutely instrumental there.
High screen. Patriots switch. And ball's knocked out of bounds by the Patriots. It will stay with the Tornadoes. Quick hands by Scarlett Gilmore there. 12 on the shot clock. Gilmore's going to pressure the inbound pass. And Dunbar between the circles sets up. Hands it off to Lee for 3. No good. Patriots come away with a board. That's going to be Anya Oliver. Inside, nice entry pass, goes up strong. We have a hoop and a foul on the interior. Zaria Woods with the finish.
And Zaria Woods, the leading scorer for the Patriots this season, 13.8 points per game, 9.2 rebounds, almost averaging a double-double. And like I said before, owning that paint, getting those points down there, and just controlling the rebounds. That's what FMU has to do, and I can't stress that anymore.
She buried the free throw. She established some really good position deep in the paint, and by the time the pass got in there, it was a foregone conclusion. And Zaria picked up an extra point on the effort as well. Ball's knocked around. Patriots trying to get it. Gilmore with her head up. Does a little stop and go. Gets it inside. And Taylor couldn't get it up on the glass. Dunbar skip pass over and buried a 3. That's Lee.
Number 4, Trinity Lee.
So Trinity Lee pulls the Tornadoes within 2. Our first substitution of the ball game, that's going to be number 11, Riley Fritz.
And we haven't had a chance to talk about Trinity Lee, a senior guard averaging 17.8 points per game, 51% from 3, and averaging about 4.5 rebounds per game. Her and Dunbar are going to be 2 big points of this Tornado offense tonight.
That's a lethal combination. Gilmore missed it. But Kiana Lee goes up strong, knocked away by the Patriots, and Zaria Wood finally corrals it, and the Patriots reset with a new shot clock. We have a whistle. Alex, I couldn't see what he called over there.
I believe he said 14, but there isn't a 14 on the court, I don't think.
I think he was saying that there was no established possession, so it was 14 on the shot clock.
Gotcha.
So we got it. They didn't give us a fresh shot clock because we never got on the rim. Gilmore with a pump fake, drives into the right block, goes up strong. She'll go to the line to shoot a pair.
Going up to the basket strong, controlling the paint like we keep saying, being aggressive inside.
I have a feeling with the position of that our interior players can establish, if somebody like Scarlett or Kiana Lee continues to drive, they'll have multiple opportunities to dish the ball off for easy layups.
Absolutely. And I mean, they still have size on the bench as well that we haven't seen play tonight. So they have a lot of depth when it comes to controlling the inside and playing aggressive down low.
Gilmore knocks down both of those free throws, and the Patriots are up by 4. Once again, 11-7 is our score. Just over 4 gone in this ball game. Alexa Graman finally gets it over to Fritz. Lee from 14 feet on the right wing knocks it down. They go over the top of the defense. Gilmore has it. She takes it in strong, knocked away, but it's corralled by number 15, Zaria Woods.
And doing her best LaMelo Ball impression, sending a full court pass to Scarlett Gilmore. Quick play by the Patriots.
That foul's on number 35, Madison Worley. That's her second personal foul, team's third. Lee thought about a 3, and then she travels.
Substitution for Kings University, number 33, Maddie Denton.
She had a little bit of a window for a 3, but thought if she could get just that little pump fake, she could drive to the basket. I think she was right. She just didn't put the ball on the floor fast enough. Lee gets it inside. Nice pass to Taylor. Block, though. Kick back outside. And the Patriots, once again, they are dominating the glass right now, offensively and defensively. I will say the Tornadoes, especially on their offensive glass, are keeping the ball alive a lot. They're tipping it around, but the Patriots are moving well to the ball and corralling those rebounds. Gilmore goes inside, left hand no good, gets their own rebound and pulls it back out. Inside. Lee has it, goes up strong, no good. Couple of shots deep underneath for the Patriots, just won't go down. Pretty good defense by the Tornadoes to alter those shots. Prince Graman gets it over to Dunbar, deep on the left wing once again. Gilmore D's up on her. Dunbar drives inside, gets fouled. She'll go to the line to shoot a pair. Scarlett Gilmore.
Extremely aggressive Dunbar has so far. The defense for FMU has got to adjust to that. You know, even though they have the size, you still can't let Dunbar go to the basket untouched.
She's got a very quick first step, and she's a very adept ball handler, so the Patriots are going to have to figure her out later on in this ball game. Okay, that's going to take us to our first media timeout. We'll be back in just a moment. This is the Patriot Sports Network.
This is Conference Carolinas.
Welcome back to the Smith Center here on the lovely campus of Francis Marion University. So, Alex, what do you think the Patriots have been doing right so far in this ball game with about 5 minutes gone?
Well, what they've been doing right so far is attacking the paint. They know that they're not going to really shoot better than this King team. They're not going to be faster than this King team, but they're going to be more aggressive, and they're going to get as many chances as possible down low. What I need to see them do is exploit these mismatches that they have down low. They see them, but they need to attack them.
And Dunbar makes 1 of 2 on that trip to the line. Patriots have actually done an excellent job of beating the full court pressure. They get it inside, goes into Taylor, the hoop and the harm, and just like the doctor ordered, Alex, you're 100% right. They attacked that matchup, and they get rewarded with an opportunity for an old-fashioned three-point play.
And when you have two girls on this FMU team that average 10-plus points, they're 6 feet tall, and they can rebound the heck out of the ball. They had to put 3 of those King Tornado players on Lauren Taylor on that play.
And she still had the strength to get it up on the glass and make the shot.
Exactly.
Fritz has it deep on the right wing. Patriots switch, and Kiana Lee is going to get a little bit of a touch foul with the left arm coming out. Those are the kind of fouls that the Patriots can't afford. As you said, they've got a lot of deep depth underneath, but their perimeter players, they don't run as deep, and we don't want to see Lee or Scarlett Gilmore pick up any unnecessary fouls. Gilmore on Fritz. Tight defense there. Grumman, oh no. Turnaround jumper. I thought it was Grumman for a second, but that's 0. Desiree Bates, who just checked into the ball game. Oliver gets it inside. Once again, they quickly double team. And then we have a travel as Woods did. She kept on getting pushed a little bit, and every move she made drugged that pivot foot just a little bit.
And a good job by King. I mean, you want to do that to the big people down low. I mean, you have to kind of get on their nerves a little bit.
And they've decided once that ball gets entered into the paint, they are going to double team and force the Patriots either to split the defenders, no good by Fritz that time, and Taylor comes away with it, or kick the ball back outside. Gilmore drives in hard. She does kick it outside. Good movement by the Patriots. A pretty drive by Oliver. She just could not get control of herself, and what a wonderful pump fake. Got 2 Patriots up in the air, and Fritz just basically waltzed in and tied the ball game up at 14.
This Patriots defense, they have to act like the Great Wall of Florence down there. Nobody's getting through us. Nobody's getting easy buckets. That has to be the mindset of this team.
I agree. I'd like to see them stay on the floor. When they start shooting over the top of us and making a lot of threes or 17-footers, then we can go out and
100%.
But until they start shooting the ball over the top of us and making us pay, I'd say play a little bit more controlled, a little bit more packed in, because there's no way they can score on the interior of our defense if we pack it down in there with regularity.
At the line of the Patriots, number 11, Anaya Oliver.
So Oliver goes to the line to shoot some free throws. King already in the bonus, or the Patriots in the bonus. 5 team fouls against the Tornadoes. That was Fritz's first foul. And Oliver knocks down both of those. Patriots back up by 2. Jaden Potts in the ball game now for the Tornadoes, as well as Jada McKinney. Ball stolen away. And that one's Kiana Lee. She's going to go up and finishes with the right hand. Nice steal and finish that time by Kiana. Deep 3, left wing, back iron, no good. And Oliver has it. Inside, a move by Taylor. She goes up strong, and she'll go to the line to shoot a pair.
Well, what a routine spin move there. I mean, just absolutely bounced off of her, had an open glass, and they had no choice but to foul her.
Very quick move by Lauren that time.
Absolutely.
Couple of substitutions coming in. Dunbar back in for the Tornadoes, and for the first time this evening, number 20, Jada Richards, in for our Patriots. Lauren Taylor gets that one to rattle around and go down. Patriots up by 5. 2:22 to go in this first quarter of play. Second free throw up, she buried it. That's her 5th point of the evening so far. Kiana Lee right now is the leading scorer for the Patriots with 6. Dunbar gets it to the top. Bates drives in. Dunbar gets it to the elbow. She kicks it off. That one's off stride. And McKinney barely drew iron on that one. It goes out of bounds. Patriots possession. Dunbar was giving McKinney the thumbs up, saying that was a good shot. Keep on going. They worked the ball around. Got a shot that they liked. Lee looking inside. Gets the ball to, I'm sorry, that was Stanley that came in for our Patriots. She's right at the top of the key right now.
And Porter was wanting her to shoot from that corner as soon as she caught it. Unfortunate travel call on Richards.
High screen. And Dunbar went away from the screen, and another touch foul by Kiana Lee out there.
You have to be on your toes when you're in front of her because her hesitation moves are really kind of faking out the Patriots to say, I mean, you have to stay in front of her and don't foul, don't get any more of these touch fouls that you've already been doing and force her to go to the basket.
That's her second personal foul in this first quarter, so we'll have to keep an eye on that as this game progresses. Lee goes inside. Desiree gives up off the back iron. She's not going to knock it down, but she picks up the foul on Miss Taylor. So both teams now have 5 team fouls, and Lauren has just picked up her second personal foul. We're going to see Desiree Bates on the line for King.
And I keep hearing the fans say, keep your hands up. Especially when they go down in the post, you have the size. Keep your hands up and then force them to shoot over you. Don't let them get easy buckets off the glass.
And if you keep your hands up, it keeps you from reaching in.
Exactly.
And so they're allowed to have all the space right above their head, so even if a player jumps into them, it shouldn't be a hacking call if you just keep your hands up and keep them in a defensive posture. Malia Owens is running the point now for the Patriots, number 10. Deep three-pointer right side, no good. Dunbar tracks it down for the Tornadoes behind the back. Desiree goes in strong. She gets the hoop and the foul. That was a good finish that time. That's going to be on number 20, Jada Richards.
At the line for King University, 00, Desiree Bates.
Desiree off the back iron, no good. Offensive rebound by the Kings, Tornadoes. Fortunately, the Patriots played some good defense afterwards, and we're going to have a push-off foul. That's going to be on number 21, Janiyah Haygood. The fans behind us did not like that call at all. They called a clear-out foul, offensive foul, getting some position. The way she was cutting across the lane instead of into it. It didn't look like that would have been a foul, but it's called nonetheless. That's her first personal foul. Player control, so no free throws were attempted on that, even though both teams are in the bonus.
And mentioning that walk call there, the Tornado have gotten away with so many. I've been looking closely. They have about 3 that have been called, but there have been a few, and on both sides, where they'll start to walk before they dribble.
Stanley. Jada Richards. I'm sorry, Jasmine Stanley with a great move inside. She's very athletic and long. Deep three, no good. Patriots come away with it. And a nice try, but the time runs out on us. But the Patriots did have a good quarter, one of their better shooting quarters, taking a lead of 22-18 after the first quarter. All righty, we'll be back in just a moment. This is the Patriots Sports Network.
The Swamp Fox Club is a fundraising arm of the Francis Marion University Athletic Department, and it supplies assistance to all 14 intercollegiate sports. On behalf of the student athletes at Francis Marion, I would like to thank all those who are members of the Swamp Fox Club for their support.
Thank you.
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 Welcome back to Pearl Moore Night here at Francis Marion University. Patriots are up by 4 points. 22-18 is our score. Just about to start the second quarter of play. Right in front of our scorers table, we're going to have Jasmine Stanley. She gets the ball in, and Oliver runs the point for the Pats. She's looking inside. They do get it in. Woods kicks it back outside. Nice movement. Oliver for three, right side, and Shotzi, she rattles it home. Ball stolen away. And the Patriots with another steal. Gilmore now. She goes over the top. Easy inside to Woods. And another quick score by the Patriots. That got head coach Michael Phelps up off the deck, and he called a quick timeout. He doesn't like where this is going. Patriots have just got a 9-point lead.
I mean, they looked tremendous on that setup of that play. You could tell how things were about to come together, and it worked out. Great three-pointer from the elbow. And then just a wide-open Zaria Woods. I mean, the mismatches, they're so focused on handling the floor spreaders, the guards, that you've got 6-footers down there wide open, easy layups all day long.
That steal actually got them out of their defensive transition,
Right.
I think, and it was really difficult for them to figure out where they were. They got a little lost, and Zaria Woods just slid in behind that last defender, and Gilmore found her easy basket. But going back to that play before that, there was a little bit of a triangle going out there, and it was going inside, coming outside, going to the wing, going inside, and finally had that wide open three, and Oliver rattled it home. And I saw Coach Porter over there when that happened. She was really excited about it. I don't think it was the points. I think it was the execution of the play.
Absolutely. And she, like you said, the execution, we saw Jada have a shot earlier in the corner that she wanted her to take, but she didn't. She unfortunately got called for a travel. Pretty much the same exact play right there. They took the shot, goes right in for them.
So the Patriots with a quick 5 points out of the quarter break, and so they found themselves only 32 seconds into the second quarter, up by 9. Tornadoes bring the ball up. Dunbar calling out the plays. Dunbar gets it over to Fritz, deep on the right wing. Back to Dunbar for three. No good, and good rebound by Scarlett Gilmore. She pushes the ball up the floor. Oliver thought about a three, Pretty good transition defense by the Tornadoes. Good shot by the streaking number 20, Jada Richards.
And this Patriots team, it's like they're reading each other's minds. They know where they're going to be at exactly the right time, and just a perfect execution on that play.
Entry pass just a little bit too strong that time for number 35, Madison Worley. Bates put it a little bit too high out of bounds. Turnover goes to the Patriots. Full court pressure once again now by the Tornadoes. They're going to have to pick up the defensive intensity with the Patriots up by 11. Patriots get through the pressure. Gilmore drives inside, kicks it out. 15-footer right side. Woods knocks it down. Patriots have really shown their ability with the mid-range jumper. Oliver with the steal. She drives it in, goes in, off the glass, and what a lovely finish in between two defenders.
Coast to coast, all the way off the glass. You got to love it.
Patriots fans certainly did, and we did as well. Patriots up by 15, 7:56 to go in the first half. Dunbar, right wing, top of the key now to Grumman. Stanley. Dunbar went away from the pick, and then there was some miscommunication between Dunbar and Fritz. A backdoor cut turned into a turnover as the ball goes out of bounds.
And these Patriots are definitely putting their foot on the pedal tonight, knowing that it's Pearl Moore night. I mean, you have to show out for the legend, and if you look at the scoreboard, they're definitely doing that so far.
This does not look like a 1-14 that we're seeing tonight.
Exactly.
And they're not shooting lights out. Well, they are, but it's because of great execution just like that with a wonderful entry pass and an easy finish by Zaria Wood. Trinity Lee, their leading scorer, works to the left side, gets it into the paint, off the leg, can't get it to go down, and Wood comes away with a strong defensive rebound, and she's going to be fouled inside by, I believe, number 2, Alexa Grumman, and it is.
Arizona King University, number 2, Alexa Grumman.
And the Patriots, honestly, if we're looking at just size, they should get the rebound on every single possession tonight.
They're doing exactly what they need to do. They're getting themselves in position, and when they get themselves into proper position, they cannot rebound over the top of them. Substitution for the Patriots. Malia Owens checks back in. Sorry, that was Woods now.
Woo!
Exerting herself on the interior. She's got 11 points for the Patriots. Almost a steal by Gilmore. Lee takes the deep three. No good. Rebound by number 21, Janiah Haygood. But turned the ball over.
Substitutions for King University, 0-0,
Desiree Bates and 5, Brianna Dunbar check back in for the Tornadoes. On the floor for the Patriots, Gilmore, Bryant, who's on the ball right now, Oliver, Woods, and number 21, Janiah Haygood. Dunbar, deep right wing, 18 on the shot clock. She drives inside and kicked it outside. She lost her defender, but didn't know that, and if she had kept on going, she would have had a good opportunity to score, but a little hitch there, and the ball goes out of bounds once again. Possession with the Patriots.
You have to think that Coach Phelps and the Tornado here, they have to get a little bit more bigger when it comes to the lineup they put out on the court, because, I mean, you can't just not get a single rebound on a defensive side. They are having trouble getting rebounds, obviously, because of the size that Francis Marion has. But you would think that they would go big with not getting all these rebounds.
Their biggest player that they start out with was Madison Worley. But And you see that a lot of their scratches are their taller players for this evening. Scarlett Gilmore is going to the line to shoot 2. The Tornado had actually done a good job of defending, and then right at the end, they were bailed out on a call. Or the Patriots were bailed out, and Gilmore puts another 2 points on the board for the Patriots, and all of a sudden, this lead has grown to 21 points.
It's getting ugly, to be plain and simple. I mean, Tornado know that they have to bounce back, and they're not going to do that inside, but actually, well, almost right there they had a chance inside, but they're going to have to shoot lights out if they're really going to want to come back.
Good hustle that time by the defense in transition. And then the Patriots turn the ball back over. Woods can't quite get it to go down, but she gets her own rebound. And the Patriots, with 17 on the shot clock, reset the offense. Oliver has it. She makes the move inside, goes through. And that's a good foul that time by number 4, Trinity Lee, because she'd been beat off the dribble, and that was an easy basket going through.
University, number 4, Trinity Lee.
Lee picks up her first personal foul. That's the team's third. Gilmore has it. She drives in, goes up strong with the right hand. It rattles around and goes in. And Gilmore asserting herself underneath as well. 41-18 is our score. 5 minutes and some change to go in this first half of play. Number 21, Janiah Haygood, picks up the foul 30 feet away from the basket. A little handsy on there. I don't mind the call.
Checking in for the Patriots, number 20, Jada Richards.
Number 20, Jada Richards, back in for the Patriots, and also Jasmine Stanley, number 22. And Turner and Woods are getting some much-deserved rest. Switch, Stanley goes on. Stanley is a very good defender. She's very long and athletic and makes things difficult. No good, and an offensive rebound that time by Trinity Lee, and she gets paid off with a foul, and she'll go to the line to shoot a pair.
Like we said earlier, Trinity Lee, Brianna Dunbar, the leading scorers average for the Tornado, they really haven't been able to get going. I mean, Dunbar's been able to penetrate the inside a little bit, but like we said, the size is overcoming her ability to get points.
And the drought that has lasted for so long is now broken, so this is the first points for the Tornado in the second quarter. It was 22-18 in between quarters, and now they've picked up their first 2 points. 5 minutes and 2 seconds, or 12 seconds, gone in the second quarter.
And that might be one of the biggest runs under head coach Porter.
Inside, and another great entry pass. Unfortunately, it was just out of the grasp of Bryant. Tapped out by one of the Tornado. Patriots will inbound underneath their own basket. They go over the top. Haygood has it. Inside. Moving around, wide open three, left side. No good. And an offense, they're going to call that over the top. It looked clean from our angle, but
yeah,
the Tornado had really good position in there.
Absolutely.
And Janiah Haygood is going to get called.
Fouls on the Patriots, number 21, Janiah Haygood.
That's her third personal foul. 2 in the last 2 possessions. A little scoop up and under, nice move. Couldn't finish though for number 33, Madee Denton. Stanley goes all the way to the basket and finishes.
She didn't have to think twice about that one, Hubert.
She just tore down the right side of that lane and knew where she was going. McKinney gets it over to Desiree Bates. No good. Easy rebound over the top for the Patriots. Richards pulled it back out, goes inside, left hand, rattles around good for Kiana Bryant. And a foul on the floor. That's going to be on number 11, Anaya Oliver.
That was on the Patriots, number 11, Anaya Oliver.
They're putting 22 seconds back on the shot clock. I kept on thinking it was.
At the line for King University, number 2, Alexa Graham.
Riley Fritz checks back in for the Tornado. We'll see McKinney to inbound the ball. And that's going to be the Patriots' 5th team foul, so we're going to see a couple of free throws here. Patriots had no team fouls just a couple of minutes ago, and back-to-back-to-back possessions. They're trying to remember who the foul was on. So they're putting Kiki Samsel back in the ball game. She was the player for the Tornado that was fouled by Oliver. And so she'll, even though it was on the floor, they didn't know when they substituted that it was in the bonus. And she rattles it around no good.
At the line for King University, number 10, Kiki Samsel.
So Patriots still with a 25-point lead, 3:27 to go, and Samsel knocks down the second one. And now she comes out of the ball game, and we'll see number 11 back in, Riley Fritz. Bryant gets the ball into Oliver. Staley outside. Oliver for three, right side. Rattles around, no good. Patriots get the rebound. It's Jasmine Stanley. I believe they're calling a 3-second violation down there. I thought that Janiah Haygood had been fouled on the drive, but I think that was waved off by a 3-second violation. Turnover goes to the Tornado. Jaden Potts has the ball.
A rare call. Even in professional, you rarely see that call happen.
The way the Patriots have been feasting in the paint, though, today, you wouldn't be surprised that maybe one of those is going to happen. And how in the world did Jaden Potts, the smallest player on the court, get between every – the Patriots defense just completely fell asleep there, and she waltzed all the way in. Easy finish by the young lady, Jaden Potts. Left hand runner by Richards, no good. And Potts pushes it, three-pointer, no good. Haygood has it. And Oliver slows things down with 2 minutes to go in the first half. Patriots up by 22.
I'll tell you what, we should see at least 5 Patriots players tonight in double digits in rebounds. Or at least somebody should have 15, 20 rebounds tonight, whether it be Zaria or Lauren.
I agree. And unfortunately, the ball was a little bit too high for Potts. The Patriots' offensive sets had been a little bit scattered. They had some of their younger players in, and I think Coach Porter had seen enough of that, and she got some of the senior leadership back on the floor. A lot of players were trying to win the drive instead of move the ball around. Three-pointer. Richards no good. Left side. I'm sorry. And the Tornado push it. That was a late call. Thought it was pretty good defense that time by the Patriots, but a good up and under move, I guess, by number 11, Riley Fritz. So Jada Richards picks up her second personal foul. Coach Porter's going to have a little talk with her about what she expects on the defensive end.
At the line for King University, number 11, Riley Fritz.
Riley knocks the first one down, second one's up and rattles home. So a lead that was 25 is down now to 20. The Tornado have not stopped playing yet. The Patriots need to keep going as well, and they do with a great feed inside to Bryant.
Quick passes, getting the job done. They don't really have size in there right now for the Tornadoes, so they're going to abuse that with Jasmine Stanley.
Wonderful defense that time. Picking up the charge was Oliver. No, that wasn't Oliver. That was Malia Owens. Really good call. She was set in the paint outside of the arcs and took a hard shot that time. A brave charge taken. Inside. And what a nice recovery after she scrambled to get the ball. Jasmine Stanley finished easily.
And there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, with the size you have on the court, well, you can answer back with a three-pointer in the corner right there.
That was Jadiah McKinney. That was a big answer for them.
Absolutely.
But the Patriots, when they set their offense up and are patient, and that was a travel. Owens did. She got a little caught up with the move she was trying to make. But when the Patriots are patient and they don't try to force things off the dribble, they move the ball around, those passing lanes just seem to open up. And it doesn't matter if they're 6 feet tall or 5'8", everybody who wants to is getting a chance at an open shot down low.
100%.
3 seconds separating the shot clock and the game clock. The Tornado happy to take basically the last shot here. They've got their leading scorer, Trinity Lee. Working, picks up a high screen. Stanley trades off. It goes up strong. And my goodness, I thought Stanley had done a great job of the defense there, but I think they must have caught her with the body.
Number 22, Stanley. At the line for King University.
So 22. That's only Stanley's first personal foul, but puts Lee on the line to shoot a pair. 8 seconds left, so the Patriots can push a last possession shot here.
Box out. Box out.
Lee puts up the second one, and it's good as well. I think it's smart to go full court pressure, but the Patriots beat it. Plenty of time. And they go up, and unfortunately, Owen was right there. I think just got a little bit caught up in the moment and couldn't finish the layup.
Just wanted to make sure she got the shot up before the time ran out. I can understand.
A bit of a moral victory, I think, to get under 20 points for the Tornado when Lee knocked down those 2 big free throws, but the Patriots still with a commanding lead going in at halftime. 49-30 is our score. From just looking at the stat sheets, it looks like about as good as the Patriots have played all year long.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Almost 50 points in the first half. You have to think, if you're Coach Walker and Coach Porter going back into this locker room, you have to be super proud of how they're opening here their first home game of the season.
I don't know if it's just home court cooking, but they're shooting about 53% from the floor, and that is fantastic for the Patriots. The Tornado only shooting about 35% from the floor, so that huge disparity in percentage is why we're looking at this big 19-point lead. The Patriots, one of the reasons they're shooting that well is they have made some long-range shots. They've made a couple of mid-range jumpers, but they have just been destroying the paint. A lot of their shots, most of them I'd have to say, have been point blank within 2 feet.
And we talked about that from the get-go. They have to be aggressive. They have to take the paint. It's their paint. This is their court. They have to take as much advantage as possible with the size that they have down there.
And they're doing exactly what the doctor ordered, and they're really, really punishing in the paint right now. So very excited for the Patriots. in that respect. And we're do a quick little, I'll give an overview of the first half statistics, and then Alex, maybe you can come back, and if you see something that's kind of interesting about it, you can point it out. But just right now, King has 30 points, and they got that on 9 of 26 from the floor. That's 35%. Only 2 of 11 from beyond the arc, 18%, and 10 of 15 from the free throw line. The Patriots had 49 points. They got that from 19 of 36. That's 53% from the floor. Only 1 of 7, though, from beyond the arc. Only got that one by Oliver right there, basically in front of us on the left wing. And 10 of 10 from the free throw line. You've got to love that number. The leading scorer for the Patriots with 11 points is Zaria Woods. Leading scorer for the Tornado with 9 is Trinity Lee. Kind of what we expected from that regard. But if you look at the rebound difference, we have 11 total rebounds for King and 23 rebounds for the Patriots. 7 of those are offensive. And to tell you the truth, I think we would have more offensive rebounds if we missed shots more. But we're making such a high percentage of our shots. We only missed 17 shots, and 7 of those we got rebounds on. So it was a really, really big day for the Patriots on the interior. Francis Marion got 18 points from turnovers, only 9 points from turnovers for King. Let's see, the total turnovers was 11 for King, and the Patriots with 8, which is about on their season average. They're averaging about 16 a game, but they forced 11, and that's big.
Absolutely. We talked about earlier how King is a very defensive-minded team, and unfortunately, as we saw their lineups tonight, they were missing a couple of pieces that might have helped them down low a little bit, but just haven't really seen that defensive spark that I was hoping to see tonight from them.
It could be definitely part of their personnel package that they're bringing, but what I enjoy about what the Patriots are doing tonight is I don't care who they put on the floor. The Patriots said, whatever you've got, we've got a game plan for it, and they're executing almost flawlessly.
Yep.
A couple of the younger players are getting a little bit aggressive on the defensive end and picking up some cheap fouls when they're not really needed, because the Tornado haven't shown that they're going to be consistently shooting over the top of us. So I think a little bit more space. Fall back just a little bit. Don't be as easy to get beaten off the dribble or have to reach because of it to give those up. But other than that, the Patriots have just looked really, really crisp tonight.
And if I may point something else out, the three-point percentage, Francis Marion's 1 for 7. King 2 for 11. You would think King would be shooting more. Francis Marion, they don't have to shoot threes because, like we said, they have a wide open lane almost every single time they're on offense, straight to the basket. Zaria Woods, Lauren Taylor, Jasmine Stanley. I mean, I could go on and on, but these players, they have just they don't have a difficult chance to get to the basket because King doesn't have the size to defend it. And unfortunately for King, they just really haven't been able to hit all the shots that they've wanted to tonight.
And I understand the tendency to want to take a three-pointer, especially because the way they've been moving the ball inside so well, all of the Kings folks are collapsing, and they're getting wide open threes. The Patriots just haven't been able to hit the threes when they've had them. They're good looks. I agree with you. Maybe unnecessary because we're doing such a great job on the interior this evening. But when you're wide open for three and that's one of your shots, I understand the tendency to want to take it. And that maybe we're not hitting them well tonight, but if we can get those type of open shots from beyond the arc later on in the season, I think we'll bode well for us then as well.
And I expect the Tornado to come out shooting a lot more in the second half just because they can't get over the arms. They can't get over the tall bodies inside. And, the only thing that you're really left with is going straight to the basket and hopefully getting a foul called, or you're going to have to shoot over them. And like we said, they just haven't been doing that well shooting the ball.
Patriots opened up that second quarter on fire defensively and offensively, and really, I think you actually made the comment, they put the pedal to the metal or put the gas down and really just steamrolled for about 5 minutes, and that opened up a 25-point lead and we're enjoying the benefits of that right now at a 19-point lead at halftime.
Absolutely, and I think that this is kind of their coming out party, if you kind of look at it that way, because they've had to play on the road so much. They haven't got a chance to play amongst these great fans here at the Smith University Center, but now that they have this opportunity, they're going to let it be known that they're a force to be reckoned with.
I look forward to seeing what they do and keeping that intensity up here in the second half of play. We've got about 8.5 minutes before we come back to the mic. So take a little break, go get some popcorn, get ready for second half action here at the Smith Center on the lovely campus of Francis Marion University. Patriots up 49-30. We'll be back in just a few moments. This is the Patriot Sports Network.
Let me paint you a picture. All of the graduates, all of the faculty, all of the administration, all of the Board of Trustees is decked out in their regalia, their black robes, their hats, their gold tassels. It's just a most beautiful picture of a very formal kind of occasion. And here we march into the gymnasium, and the music is playing, and the gym is packed. And as we come in, and as you look up at all those people, you see families, huge families. You see not just mama and daddy and two brothers and a sister, but there's grandmama and granddaddy, there's the aunt and the uncle, they're the cousins, they're the next door neighbors. And you know why all those people are there? Because this is the very first one, the very first graduate. And I can guarantee you that when you go to that graduation, you leave with a tear in your eye, because it's so, so special.
The desire and the love to take care of people is something that you kind of have innate. You kind of just have that thing. But Francis Marion gave me the principles, and they taught me the core values. They taught me leadership qualities, and they've just been foundational and offered a family that I can keep going back to. So even though my personal biological family didn't go to a university, and I didn't really get any experience, wisdom from them for that, I gained a family that could tell me all about college and even the afterlife of college by coming to Francis Marion. And I'm not sure you would have that with, other universities. Throughout the nurse practitioner program, you're already a nurse, and you're a devoted nurse, and you don't want to just quit. And that was another thing I specifically picked this program, was because I was able to look at the curriculum and know that I could work. I even asked a couple of the professors, one being Dr. Hopla, before I started the program, and even she told me, yes, you can still work while you do this. And I did. I worked 40 hours a week, 5 days a week. Sometimes it had to be six days a week to get my 40 hours in, and I still did the nurse practitioner program. It wasn't easy, but nothing worth having is easy. Which the benefit of having classmates and professors that were both working and studying is, we would get worked up and worried about how would we ever do this. And then they would say, well, I can work these 2 12-hour shifts on the weekends and then have the week to study. Or a professor may say, well, you can get creative with your hours here. So you can tell that they've done this, that you can tell that they've gotten creative with their time as well. And then all of a sudden it doesn't feel like such a daunting task because, again, you gain wisdom from their experience.
Choosing a college isn't easy. There are lots of choices to make and so many variables to consider. How do you know when you've found just the right place? The right college will make you feel at home, and that begins with a sense of place. At Marion University, we have a beautiful campus that's safe, well-maintained, and filled with smiling faces. It's the kind of place where you feel you belong, where you wake up in the morning and know that the day ahead will be one you'll savor and enjoy. Now, that doesn't mean life at FMU is easy. There will be challenges. Hard work is expected. We take our academics seriously. You should too. Earning one of our degrees is a real achievement. But some toil, some time invested in a difficult task, that's okay. That's how you grow, how you become someone. FMU is a comprehensive public university, and when it comes to academics, our students have a wide range of choices. We offer more than 75 majors and courses of study. Our professional schools in healthcare, engineering, business, and education are all well-known and respected across the state. At the same time, the arts and the sciences remain the core of what we do. They are the perfect foundation for a successful career and a meaningful life. Programs are important, and we'll continue to work to produce new curriculum that meets the needs of our changing world. But we also know that a great education is less about what is taught and more about who is doing the teaching. FMU's faculty is made up of distinguished scholars and renowned researchers. They're experts in their field and expert teachers too. They love the give and take of the classroom and revel in the progress their students make. In FMU's intimate academic environment, where small classes are the norm, you'll get to know a lot of these dedicated men and women. Some you will remember forever. The academic work and its rewards are why you are here. But there will be a time and place for play, too. We have more than 60 different student organizations and field teams in 14 NCAA sports. A robust schedule of extracurriculars is a big part of each semester. You'll find space here for rest and relaxation. You'll make new friends and build relationships that last a lifetime. And then, almost as quickly as it all began, it will be over. You will graduate and move on to a life and career full of promise. You'll leave memories behind. You'll leave FMU, but you'll be welcome back anytime. Home is like that, Welcome home. Welcome to FMU.
49-30 is our halftime score. What a wonderful, I wouldn't say error-free. There's still some coaching that can go on, but what a wonderful half for the Patriots.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if you're Marion University, you got to keep that momentum up. You got to keep putting the ball in the basket. You got to keep bullying the we've talked about. They got to just keep doing that.
I agree. I've got to give credit to the Tornado. They outplayed us the last 2 minutes of the half, and they cut a 25-point lead down to 19. So this team isn't going away. The Patriots they've got to finish out 21 minutes of basketball if they want to come away with their first Conference Carolina conference win.
Keeping the foot on the gas pedal, absolutely.
Let's go, D.
Starting lineup in the second half, a little bit different for the Tornado. Ball bounces around. We're going to have a foul on the interior.
We talked about at the break how we expect Keene to come out and shoot a little bit more. Straight off the bat, three-pointer from the elbow.
If they can get a few of those to go down, that's one way to come back from a large deficit.
Mm-hmm.
Also, three-pointers have a tendency to have long rebounds, which actually will benefit the shorter team.
Right.
Or the offensive team with the longer rebounds. Inside, Taylor makes a right-hand spin move, goes up strong, finishes over the top of number 33, Maddie Denton. And Denton is actually starting the second half over number 35, Madison Worley. Worley is their biggest player on that they had starting the ball game. She got 2 quick fouls, but I think that she got maybe a little dinged up on some play inside, and we haven't seen her much since the first quarter. Dunbar backs out, crosses over, goes in the paint, goes up strong, and a nice hoop and foul that time. Good drive.
Dunbar has some impressive handles, and she used one of those impressive moves there, behind the back dribble, straight to the hoop, and she's been fighting to get to that basket all night.
Off the back iron, however, and the Patriots come away with that defensive rebound. That's the 3rd personal foul on Taylor now, so Patriots do have some depth. Bad interior pass by Jasmine May. I'm sorry, that was Kiana Lee. Telegraphed it and easily stolen away. Nice inside move that time by number 2, Alexa Gramman. Over the top, Scarlett Gilmore with an easy transition basket.
King is starting to, attack the paint a little bit more, fight fire with fire. We'll see how it plays out for him.
Dunbar gets it to Lee, and wow, buries a 3. So Trinity Lee starting the second half like she did the first half, getting the inside. Kiana, in and out, no good. She gets her own rebound, but can't quite get it to go down. So unlucky that time for Kiana Lee. Dunbar now picks up the screen, backs up for the 3, and she rattles it home. And a deep 3 that time, a couple of back-to-back threes for the Patriots. And they're going to, Patriots a little bit lucky to maintain possession. I think it's a pretty good call, but
I like the intensity, though, that King is coming out with here in the second half. I mean, Michael Phelps, head coach, must have shown him a picture of all of his Olympic medals in the locker room, a little speech for
check out these golds. Oliver has it left wing, looking inside. Gets it to Gilmore, top of the key. Inside, easy pass up off the glass. And a nice pump fake by Wood. Got everybody up in the air, and then it was just a matter of if she was being able to get it up off the glass. Did a good job of trying to get it to go down, but they're going to call that one on the floor. Inside, Woods once again, and a strong move. Fights through the pretty good defense that time by Desiree Bates. Lee loses the ball out of bounds. Went off her leg.
That's what happens when you keep your hands up.
She was advocating that one of the Patriots had knocked it out, but I think they knocked it off her leg, and that was a good call. Gilmore finally gets it to Wood. Wood goes inside. Taylor up strong, and it rattles in. And the Patriots now getting into some offensive rhythm. The 19-point lead had been cut down to 13. Now back up to 17. Dunbar walks it back and resets. She's looking to pick up the high screen by Graman. Takes the three-pointer, no good, and nice save, almost saved that time by Trinity Lee. Good hustle, just could not quite get to it in time.
And unfortunate for King is they may go down and they might hit a splash 3 from outside, but FMU will walk right down the court and put an easy basket off the glass. So King just having to stay with the Patriots in terms of scoring right now.
inside once again, and a reverse by Wood. Another great interior pass by Oliver that time. And once it was obvious that Wood was able to corral that ball, it was an easy basket. Three-pointer, right side. There it is. Number 10. Kiki with a big answer three-pointer. Oliver gets it to Lee. Lee goes up, kept alive, and Lee can't quite save it. I wish Lee had taken it strong to the hoop instead of trying to do a little bit of a circus shot on that one and force the foul.
Number 35, Madison Worley.
But you had a really good move going down that left side of the lane.
If I'm King and I'm down by this amount of points, I want to force this Patriots team to shoot the ball. I don't want to let them get anything easy inside. And if that means double teaming the two big girls down low, I mean, you're going to have to do that.
Fantastic block that time by Taylor, and then a great shot. Good transition. Lee caught the pass over the shoulder.
Score the basket. Foul King University, 0-0, Desiree Bates.
And I don't know if it's just that the defense is just not really on their toes if they're not back all the way, but there has been so many instances, quick plays, where a Patriots player is wide open and they'll hit the LaMelo Ball pass, full court pass, and they'll get an easy 2 points.
Lee couldn't quite get the free throw to go down, but Oliver almost stole it away. Your point is well taken. That block shot led to an easy transition basket where somebody from the Tornado probably should have been down there instead of trying to recover, actually be in better position.
Right.
Keep your hands up. Keep your hands up.
Lee getting screened both sides. They did get a good look at a three, and Dunbar went inside. Ball's still around. Patriots come away with it. Oliver has it for the Patriots. Lead is 18.
Keep moving, Keith. Keep moving.
That one's going to be on Taylor once again. Coach Porter doesn't like that call at all. Taylor's going to come to the bench with 4 personal fouls, and that's going to get number 22, Jasmine Stanley, off the bench. I think we're going to see a lot of her over the next 10 minutes of game clock. Potts has it. Travel that time. As Madison Worley's back in the ball game, I'm glad to see that that young lady is okay and back on the floor for the Tornado.
Keep moving, Keith. Keep moving around, Keith.
Patriots up by 18. Oliver deep on the right wing. Lee has it. Goes down. Goes up strong. She can't get it to go. A little bit of a circus shot, but guess who's there to clean up the garbage? Jasmine Stanley.
And they put in the big person down low, Worley, for King, but she was unable to get the rebound over Stanley.
Back iron, no good. Oliver settles it down. Gilmore for 3, right side, no good. Kept alive by Stanley, but King comes away with it. Fritz gets it over to Dunbar for 3. Back iron, no good. And Wood comes away with another rebound. Zari with 13 points, having a great all-around game. Gilmore takes it down the right side, backs it up, and they're going to call an offensive foul on the clear out by Scarlett Gilmore. And that's going to take us to our first media timeout of this Third quarter of play, 3:45 to go. The Tornado will have the ball when we come back. Patriots up by 20, 63-43 is our score. This is the Patriots Sports Network.
This is Conference Carolinas.
Patriots enjoying a 20-point lead with 3:43 to go in this third quarter of play. Three-pointer deep right side, and another three-pointer goes down by number 10, Kiki Samsel. And they've really started to light up from beyond the arc in this third quarter. Patriots keeping pace, though, with a lot of work inside the paint. Stanley, turnaround, goes up strong, too strong off the front iron, no good. Top of the key, Fritz has it, goes down the left side, spin moves, goes up strong, and a bump by Gilmore. She did bite a little bit hard on the pump fake and leaned in. And that's going to be Gilmore's third personal foul, the team's fourth. Number 11, Riley Fritz.
Substitutions for King University, number 30.
We're going to see number 33, Maddie Denton, check in for the Tornado. And number 20, Jada Richards, in for our Patriots. Fritz for the first free throw, and she buries it. .303 to go here in the third quarter. Off the front iron, no good. Stanley comes away with the rebound, and the Patriots push the ball up the floor. As I was mentioning in the break, I think the Patriots should take a little bit of the air out of the ball. They score regularly. Backed it up. Three-pointer. Shotzi, and just as I say that, they knock down a three-pointer. I'd like to see a little more time come off the clock, but if you're going to put up points, go for it.
I totally agree, Hubert. I mean, when you take a shot like that, it goes in, but 19 seconds left on the play clock, and you're up by this amount. I mean, milk that clock and, get some buckets down low, what you've been doing all night.
It would be one thing if it seemed hard for the Patriots to score, and you don't want to get out of rhythm, but they have been able to score at will from almost anywhere inside the arc tonight. So Potts for three, right side, and she drills one home. Patriots still up by 17, and we're going to have wholesale changes for the Tornado at our next stopped ball. There's 5 people at the scores table. Gilmore for three. Shotzi, and she buries one.
You could hear the thwip on the net as that ball went through. I mean, perfect three-point shot there by Gilmore.
Alex, I don't think anybody in the arena had a better view of that three-pointer than we did. She took it right in front of us, and we could see it was dead on line. If it had the right distance, we knew it was going in.
Absolutely.
70-50 is our score. Oliver trotting the ball up the floor. She's between the circles, working on Lee. Richards over to Gilmore, who just knocked down a three-pointer. Inside to Wood. She goes up strong. Too strong with the right hand. I think the body contact must have thrown her off just a little bit. She usually doesn't put them up that hard. Inside, no good that time by Fritz. She went into the teeth of that Patriots defense and didn't come out alive.
And Patriots here, they got to slow it down, milk the rest of this clock in the third quarter, and, you know, you want to have that final shot.
Woods gets it into Stanley. She puts it on the floor and gets it stolen away. Nice play that time by number 11, Riley Fritz. Ball's knocked out of bounds, and we're going to see a lot of new players on the floor. We're going to see Worley back out there, Dunbar, Graman, Jada McKinney, who's hit a three-pointer this evening, and inbounding the ball is going to be Desiree Bates.
And I will say something I thought was great from Anaya Oliver at midcourt. With the tornado coming back down, she didn't get the touch foul. She let her hands down and used her body, exactly what the Patriots need to do to avoid fouls.
Three-pointer no good, and Stanley goes up strong for it. Doesn't corral it, gets bounced around a bit, but it stays. It turns over to the Patriots' possession. 22.6 seconds. No shot clock now. Almost stolen away that time by Dunbar. But the Patriots do a good job of breaking the pressure. And a rush shot that time by Ryan. I'm not sure why they are doing that. Again, because we've been able to get good rebounds. And there we go. We're going to put them on the line to shoot a pair with no time left on the clock. Don't understand why the Patriots would take a shot with 13 seconds on the shot clock.
Absolutely. I mean, we've talked about this, milking the clock, you know, not giving King any opportunity whatsoever to be back in this game. And if they keep doing that, they're going to have more opportunities to take shots. And they've been hitting threes a lot better this half.
I think that's just some of the youth and inexperience of this Patriots team, not understanding the situation where we're forcing a shot when you don't need to. 22.6 seconds on the game clock. You don't have a shot clock. There should be no time left on when you get your second shot off if you have an offensive rebound.
Absolutely.
The Patriots only lose 1 point on that transaction, and they did increase their 19-point lead to 21 points, which they did weather the storm and come back even more or even stronger from that particular perspective with a 19-point lead at halftime, now with 21. And they really did weather the storm because the tornado did not go away in that third quarter.
Absolutely, and they're not going to go away. They know what they have to do to put themselves back in this game. Is it going to be enough to do that? I don't know, but they have to get more shots up. They've got to keep doing that, putting up shots, and, you know, they kind of have to hit every single shot right now down by this amount. And, you know, it's going to be hard for them to come back with FMU going down the court, getting easy buckets. So a really tough position for the Tornado right now.
It really is, because I don't see where or what they can do scheme-wise, personnel-wise, to stop the interior players of Francis Marion. And it would just have to be the lid going in on the rim, because they just really are scoring at will on the interior.
Right.
The ball will be inbounded right in front of Alex and myself. They get it into Oliver. Dunbar playing some tight man-to-man defense on her. Inside, kick back out. Lee goes in strong, got the ball knocked away by Dunbar. It's on the deck, and the Tornado come away with it. Quick hands that time by Dunbar, and good transition, but Desiree could not get it to go down. Madison Worley was trailing the play, gets the offensive rebound and foul. She'll go to the line to shoot a pair.
Not a bad idea to foul on a play like that with how, you know, King has shot from the free throw line so far. So, you know, kind of like how the bad boy Pistons were. No easy buckets. So I kind of like how they took a foul there with that.
We've looked pretty bad on the interior tonight, all night long. And I mean bad in the good way. And Worley knocks down the first one. Second attempt on the way. Back iron, no good. A sneak in that time by Grumman. And Worley goes back in. So, well, that's going to get Lauren. No, that's going to get Zaria Wood.
The Patriots, number 22, Jasmine Stanley.
Coach Porter did not like the way Stanley got kind of snookered in there.
At the line for King University.
And with Lauren, I don't know if she's going to be coming in anytime soon with 4 fouls right now. They kind of want to be careful of her. Maybe put her in the last few minutes, but they still, you don't want to have a player foul out this early.
And back iron, no good, and almost, and another possession for the Tornado. The Patriots been so good on the glass. 2 back-to-back possessions. They overturn that call.
And our officials are probably getting tired of seeing the Tornado at the free throw line.
Wood has it. Lee gets it inside. And a strong move by Bryant there. Couldn't get the ball high up on the glass, but she'll go to the line to shoot a pair. Desiree Bates picks up only her first personal foul.
Number 13, Iona Bryant.
No good that by Kiana Bryant. She's a promising looking 5'10 freshman from Fayetteville, North Carolina. And she drops it down.
And I'm pulling for her very hard on this team. Being from the 910 myself, I played against her school. So, and seeing that she's a freshman on this team, I hope that she has a great career under Coach Porter.
She looks like she's got all the tools for it. Dunbar. Dunbar has a great array of little hesitation and head bobs and things like that just make our defenders bite on something, and then has an easy time of getting into a good position to either take a shot or pick up the foul.
And she's extremely elusive. She just agile. She gets through defenders, and she doesn't charge or she doesn't knock over people. She goes by them, and that's her way of kind of sneakily getting to the basket.
First free throw up, and that one can't go in. It rattles around.
And another thing to add on that, I think she also knows that she's not going to be able to go through Francis Marion. She's going to have to go around them.
And she gets 1 of 2, and the Patriots are still up by 20. It's been a long 1 minute to this fourth quarter.
Absolutely.
Oliver has it. Dunbar playing some tight defense. She gets past, goes inside, and a reverse by Wood. And Woods with her 17th point of the night. Lee wanted a 3. She drives baseline, goes in strong, and a nice finish. Glass with a tough angle there, but a wonderful finish by Lee for the Tornado. Substitution coming in for the Tornado, number 10, Kiki Samsel. Hit a couple of three-pointers for the Tornado this evening.
And you kind of need that three-point presence right now, down by 20.
Just a couple of ticks over 8 minutes to go in this ball game. Wood got the defender past her. 16-footer, too strong. Kept alive by Lee, who gets into Woods, and the Patriots reset with 18 on the shot clock. That's what I want to see. I want to see that ball to go back outside and Oliver reset the offense. 8 on the shot clock. Nice move. Teardrop inside, no good. That was a nice little side swipe move by Haygood. just left it a little bit short. Three-pointer back iron no good by Dunbar. She gets her own rebound, goes in strong. She was trying to get the foul, initiated some body contact, but the officials weren't having that. And Oliver comes back down the floor for the Patriots. Multiple substitutions coming in for both teams. Nice idea on the backdoor cut, just couldn't quite get it executed. That would have been really beautiful if that pass had connected. Oliver ducked that left shoulder and just went toward the rim, and Dunbar rode her hip until they finally called the foul.
Right.
Wholesale substitutions for King University.
So the Tornado put an entire new team out on the floor. For the Patriots, we're going to see number 22, Jasmine Stanley, and Lauren Taylor back in the ball game with 7 minutes to go and her 4 fouls. Patriots with a 20-point lead. Oliver, nice save, and then goes all the way to the hole. Potts really tried to harry her, but the strength of Oliver there just pushed Potts off the defensive spot. And the Patriots with a new 20. Right as I say, Patriots with a new 20, they shoot the ball immediately on the inbounds. It doesn't go down. The Patriots pick up foul number 25, Kiana Lee. That's her 3rd personal foul. Riley Fritz gets it to Potts. Potts for 3. Front iron, no good. She sneaks around and gets her own rebound and goes up inside the trees and gets fouled. How the Patriots couldn't find a way to get a hand on the shot there. So Jada Richards picks up her 3rd personal foul.
And although that you're up by 20 as the Patriots, you don't want to let your foot off the gas pedal even though you're up by this, because you don't want to have a little scare here with 6.5 minutes to go. I know that would not be something that Coach Porter would be happy with this big lead in the 4th quarter.
Because little scares can turn into big scares awfully quickly.
Oh, yeah.
They fester inside your head, and then the little bit of doubt comes around. Patriots just need to clean it up a little bit and focus on what they're doing, not worrying about the 19-point lead that they have.
Right.
Lee gets bodied up by number 12. That's going to be Jaden Potts. That's her 2nd personal foul. 4 team fouls now for the Tornado. Tornado are already in the bonus. Patriots will be shooting free throws on the next foul with 6:22 to go in the ball game. They're going to say that one was on the floor. Yes, of course it is. They're not in the bonus yet. So Lee will inbound the ball. She goes over the top. Taylor has it. Back to Lee. Goes in strong. And she gets the hoop and the harm. So she just hit double digits for the evening and has a chance to tack on one more.
What a perfect play. I mean, simple but executed well. I mean, a little bit of a give and go action off the inbound. Easy bucket for the Patriots.
You got the big for the Patriots, drawing some of the people away from the basket as she receives the inbound, and then bang, a quick hitter right back inside.
Yep.
And she completes the 3-point play. Patriots up by 22, just over 6 to go in this ball game. Allen has it. She goes up strong with the right hand, a little too strong, tips, keeps it alive, and Oliver comes away with it. Stanley couldn't quite connect on the moving pass, but the Patriots do corral it, go inside to Stanley. Skip pass. Taylor outside. Lee thought about it. She gets into 14 feet and buries it. Great ball movement by the Patriots that time. Reminds me of the movie Hoosiers.
I thought we were watching the San Antonio Spurs there for a second.
You've got to pass the ball 5 times, 5 times.
And I love that. I mean, I love when a team does that, when they try to get everybody to touch the ball. And it also is beneficial because that, puts the defense in a weird position because they have to follow that ball. So that was real tough for King, but great job by the Patriots.
And nice finish. That's one of the shots that a lot of players don't practice a lot of, is that mid-range jump shot. They do a lot of finishing moves at the hoop, and a lot of people will bring it out beyond the arc. But that 15-footer, 14-footer, 10-footer, those are not as, and that's a very, very lethal weapon if you have it.
Definitely a generation thing with the three-pointers. You want to be Steph Curry. I mean, I understand the excitement about it, but yeah, taking a little jump shot like that, it's good. It's great for, consistency, and it's not as tough as a shot as behind the arc.
So number 35, Madison Worley, back in the ball game for our Patriots. Richards gets the ball across the timeline. She gets it over to Lee. Lee inside. And a strong move that time by Lauren Taylor. It's going to send her to the line to shoot a pair.
Fouls on King University, number 2, Alexa Graman. At the line for the Patriots.
Number 2, Alexa Graman picks up her 4th personal foul, and Taylor puts it off the back iron, no good. She rattles the second one home. 1 for 2 that time. Dunbar now trots the ball up, calls out the play. Got 2 screens up high. Neglects both of them. And a nice move by Alexa Graman. Oliver now slows things down, gets it over. Lauren Taylor for 3, no good, kept alive by Stanley, and she kicks it out, and the Patriots reset. Less than 4.5 to go now. High screen by Taylor. Oliver backs it back out. 8 on the shot clock. Taylor, double dribbles. So that turnover will go the way of the Tornado, but the Patriots still with a commanding lead here. 4 minutes, 13 seconds to go in the ball game. King will have the ball when we come back after this break. You're listening to the Patriots Sports Network.
The Swamp Fox Club is a fundraising arm of the Francis Marion University Athletic Department, and it supplies assistance to all 14 intercollegiate sports. On behalf of the student athletes at Francis Marion, I would like to thank all those who are members of the Swamp Fox Club for their support.
Thank you.
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 4 minutes, 13 seconds to go in this ball game on Pearl Moore night when the Patriots have a 22-point lead against the Tornado of King University. Samsel gets it over to Alexa, who can't get it to go down, and Stanley couldn't corral it for the Patriots, but it was knocked out of bounds by Lee. At least that's what they're saying, and so it will be Patriots ball. Richards gets the ball across the timeline, and they reset. Oliver has it. I have been impressed all night long about the Patriots' ability to break the pressure full court all night long without turning the ball over. Three-pointer right side, bang, and that one was knocked down by Jada Richards.
And I've seen her this week practicing her three-pointers in here, and that's exactly what she's been practicing. Good to see that the practice comes over to the game and she's able to hit clutch threes like that.
She shot that one with confidence, and she definitely buried it.
Mm-hmm.
Richards crosses over. Dunbar in there, almost got the steal. Richards wide open to Lee. Oliver for three, and smartly backs it out. Inside to Taylor, and Taylor, this is what I wanted to see for the last quarter and a half, is watching our Patriots take the clock inside 10 and then feed the interior and let those closing players do their job. Well, Taylor will go to the line, and she'll shoot a pair once again. She's in double digits as well with 12 points. Back iron still stays at 12. I really will be curious to see at the end of the evening who has the double-doubles. And she knocks down her 13th point. Number 33, Maddie Denton back in for the Tornado. Patriots doing a good job of fighting through that top screen. And a three-pointer, no good. Richards with the rebound. She gets it up quickly to Haygood. Haygood gets it to Stanley. Stanley goes up. And a rebound by Kiana Bryant, offensive. Dunbar goes in strong. She gets fouled.
At this point, Hubert, I think they might be going for 100 because they're not doing what you want. They're not talking like they're not taking this clock down. They're going straight to the basket. I have a feeling that they might get close to hitting 100.
Their leading, or their high score of the season was the first matchup against Wingate, where that was a unbelievably high-scoring game, 89-85. But we're looking to break that out right here. I think you're right. I think it's going to get close. Dunbar rattles that one home. Dunbar could run the point for any team I was coaching, that's for sure.
She's been impressive tonight. And, she keeps going to that basket, attacking the inside. She's been the only one that's really done that this evening.
As we say that, Dunbar goes to the bench, and we're going to see number 11, Riley Fritz, check back in for the Tornado. Stanley to inbound the ball. She gets it to Misha Huggins, who just checked into the ball game. And there was a little miscue there by Owens and Huggins, and ball's turned over.
And I think they're trying to get Huggins a little bit more involved because she's a recent signee. She's a recent, player for this FMU team. So it's going to take a little bit of time for her to get used to the ways that Porter wants her to play.
And it's a good opportunity with 2.5 minutes or so to get in and get some playing time. Haygood gets double teamed. She gets through it. Gets it over easily, and missed that time by Kiana Bryant. Three-pointer left side, McKinney, and she buries it. And Coach Phelps is going to take a timeout after that made three, down by 21. That's going to take us to a media timeout and a full timeout. So 1:25 to go in this ball game. 87-66 is our score. We'll be back in just a moment. This is the Patriots Sports Network. 1:25 to go in this ball game. Patriots with a commanding 21-point lead. I think it's probably safe to say, I'm not going to say it yet. Patriots will inbound the ball after the last made basket. So Stanley can actually run the baseline if she wants to. Ball knocked away, and a turnover. Travel by Riley Fritz as the ball was knocked away, and she corralled it. I guess she couldn't get it out of her arms quick enough to get the ball on the floor. And the Patriots will inbound once again. And another steal. That makes sense. The Patriots have done such a good job of breaking down that pressure with the new players in.
Right. And I'm afraid they might not hit 90 now with only a minute and 11 left on the clock.
So the Patriots will inbound on the sideline. Somebody lost some hair on the floor. And another steal. So that's 3 consecutive steals. And Stanley comes back and makes a great play. So I think the crowd is getting a little laugh out of Haygood losing some of her hair and throwing it to the Patriots bench. The bench is having a little bit of a giggle over there, and they're not doing any trying of disguising that. And
she answers right there.
So she is definitely not Samson.
Oh,
she didn't need that, and she still performs. Patriots with 89 points, matching their season high. Lee for 3, front iron no good, and a nice little offensive rebound by Denton. A little, how do you do? And there went probably our best chance for 90. And Coach Porter over there doesn't want you to get the 90 either. She said, you don't need to score, use the clock. Potts gets it to Denton. McKinney for 3, too strong. And Haygood gets it across the timeline. Shot clock is off. Patriots are going to salt this one away. Stanley just gets it. The Patriots do not have to take a shot. They back it out. And the Patriots with their very first Conference Carolina win by a convincing score of 89-70 over the Tornado of King University in Tennessee. So a big victory for the Patriots tonight.
Absolutely, and you have to be excited and just, you know, if you're a Patriot or if you're one of these players, you got to be excited that you finally got a Conference Carolinas win. You finally ended that road trip, little skid that you had. You got over it. Now you're here at home on Pearl Moore night. And I think she had a little bit of influence of the points on the court tonight. They had a little bit of her spirit in her tonight.
They were showing out for sure.
Right.
They wanted to, the greatest player in women's basketball history is here tonight, which she's a homegrown product, a Francis Marion alumni, and they actually just came out and performed in front of a great audience. And what a fantastic time to win your first Conference Carolina game on, as you said, Pearl Moore night. You can't beat it.
Absolutely. And you like what you saw from the Patriots early on in the game, and then they carried that over into the second half, being so good on the transition inside and, you know, destroying the paint, not allowing King to get any easy buckets. They really forced King to shoot over them more, as they got through the game. But just great execution, all in all, by the Patriots tonight.
It was a wonderful game. There's some things that she can coach. It wasn't a perfect, flawless game, but it was awfully, awfully good, and probably the best game they played so far this season. I'll give a lot of credit to the Tornado. They kept fighting the entire time. I actually was a little bit scared about the first 3 or 4 minutes in the third quarter. They hit a couple of threes, but the Patriots just would not stop scoring.
No, they would not. They would not stop scoring. And that came off a lot of easy buckets. I mean, easy buckets to Lauren Taylor or Zaria Woods. I mean, King, unfortunately, they were missing few pieces, like we said, but they really just didn't have an answer for the top scores for the Patriots tonight.
A couple of critical things. The Patriots shot 54% from the floor tonight. That's outstanding. The Tornado were only 35%. That's 20 points difference, and that's a huge, huge difference in scoring for them. Rebounding, another factor we knew it was going to be. 47 for the Patriots, 30 for the Tornado. The Patriots just ate up the glass, 12 offensive rebounds. They had 22 points off of turnovers. They had 10 second chance points. They really did dominate in the paint. So I think, Alex, I think we're going to wrap things up right here and send it to our commentator. And we're going to be back in about 20 minutes or it looks like around 30 minutes for the men's game.
Sounds good. I can't wait.
Well, we can't wait for that either. The men will be taking on the Tornado from King's University up in Tennessee looking for their second Conference Carolina victory coming up in just a moment. Okay, we're going to turn it over to our announcers here on Pearl Moore Night, here at the Smith Center on Francis Marion University's campus.
Francis Marion graduate and former Patriot women's basketball player Pearl Moore was inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield, Massachusetts. At this time, we ask that you please turn your attention to the video boards.
No one in the history of women's collegiate basketball scored more points in her career than Pearl Moore.
Pearl had a passion for the game like none other. She would play anybody at any time, anywhere. It didn't matter if it was male, female. If you wanted to play, Pearl was there waiting on you.
As a four-time AIAW Small College All-American selection at Francis Marion College in South Carolina, Moore averaged 30 points per game in an era that did not have the three-point shot. She never failed to score in double figures over the 127 games she played.
Pearl was really a complete player. She had a silky smooth shot. You knew she was going to get her 20 points a game, and more nights than not, she was going to get 30 a game. So you knew she was always going to fill it up and get her own.
Pearl Moore scored an amazing 4,061 points in her collegiate career. She would go on to play professionally in the now-defunct WBL and internationally in Venezuela.
Her legacy is you couldn't stop her from scoring. And she was just so good with the basketball. We just have so much love and respect for what she did for the game.
Now, I ask everyone to rise to your feet. Let's show our appreciation and our admiration for Florence's own, Francis Marion's own, Pearl Moore. A graduate of Florence Wilson's High School, Moore played for the Patriots from 1976 to 1979, leading Francis Marion to 3 national tournament appearances. As stated in the video, Pearl never scored below 12 points in her 127 career games at Francis Marion, and she only dipped below 20 points on 18 occasions. Her high games included 50 against Bridgewater College, 52 against East Carolina University, and a then national record 60 points versus Eastern Washington State University. In addition to her 4,061 point total and her 30.6 points per game career average, all accomplished without the three-point arc, she grabbed 1,270 rebounds and handed out 267 assists. She was a four-time All-American and was named the American Women's Sports Foundation's 1979 National Small College Player of the Year. She went on to play one championship season with the New York Stars in the Women's Pro Basketball League, earned All-Star status the next year with the St. Louis Streak, and played one season overseas in Venezuela. The City Gymnasium is named in her honor. She has a summer camp for area youth, and she is enshrined in the Florence Area Athletic Hall of Fame, the FMU Athletic Hall of Fame, the South Carolina State Athletic Hall of Fame, the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame in Knoxville, Tennessee. And now she is only the third native South Carolinian to be welcomed into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. I now present to you Pearl Moore.
This is an honor and a blessing from my Heavenly Father. If all you guys can sit down and enjoy yourself, because I am so nervous now. It's a lot easier to handle a basketball on the floor than it is to have a mic in my hand. But I've had so many people played that I'm giving homage to tonight. I have some family members. If you could light it up, family members, friends that are here. If you could light up the place so I can show where they are, because these people had a lot to do with what I've done in my basketball career. Stand up, family, friends. That includes Fran and Charles Gray. That includes you guys. That includes Dr. Carter over here and Miss Folly Carter. Because Dr. Carter, I was working at the post office. Dr. Carter called me one day and he said, I'm running the machine back there canceling stamps. Dr. Carter called me and said, Pearl, I need you to do me a favor. Would you receive the Doctor of Humanitarian degree? And I said, you got to be kidding me, but not in those words. And he said, no, Pearl, I'm not kidding. So it's been so many honors bestowed on me through this course of basketball, taking me where I am today. With all the city of Florence, my high school team is over here in the corner. Like I said, my family and friends. And this award, this trophy that I barely could carry in here, is for the whole city of Florence. Because I know a lot of people have been cheering for me. I don't know you. I don't know you all. I have family members that wanted to come tonight but couldn't make it. But I appreciate you guys coming out to do this for me. And I appreciate all the support and the blessings that my Heavenly Father has bestowed on me. Thank you.
We thank you for attending. In approximately 30 minutes, the men's contest will tip off.